Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's story is one of betrayal, greed, and the kind of revenge that doesn't come with fire, but with silence. My name's Elena, and I used to think I had everything. A beautiful home, a loving husband, and a life people would kill for. My husband, Richard, was a financial genius, CEO of a private equity firm worth billions. I trusted him completely. I thought our love was built on loyalty. But what I didn't know was that while I was planning our future, he was planning my end. It all began one evening, when I came across a document on our shared iPad. He'd left it open, a draft email to his lawyer. The subject line read, "Divorce proceedings, keep it quiet." I froze. My name was right there, along with the words irreconcilable differences and financial settlement. But what broke me wasn't the divorce. It was the plan attached. Richard had been moving assets quietly, transferring shares, liquidating holdings, and restructuring trusts, all in his name. He was preparing to leave me penniless. I remember staring at that screen for what felt like hours, my hands shaking, my heart racing. But I didn't cry. I didn't confront him. Instead, I took screenshots, sent them to my private email, and decided to play along. For the next few days, I acted like nothing was wrong. I cooked his favorite meals, smiled at his jokes, even kissed him goodnight. Inside, I was crumbling, but outside, I was calm, because I knew that in a world built on money and power, emotions were weakness. Strategy was survival. That night, I called someone I hadn't spoken to in years. Adrian, a former colleague who now worked in financial forensics. I told him everything, and he agreed to help. Within 2 days, Adrian had traced multiple shell companies under Richard's control and discovered something shocking. Almost $500 million worth of our joint investments had been diverted into offshore accounts. Legally, I had partial ownership, but Richard had structured it so that once the divorce went through, everything would vanish under his name. I barely slept that week. Every morning, Richard would leave for meetings, while I sat in silence, staring at bank dashboards, watching balances shift like ghosts. I knew I had to move before he did. But then, the unthinkable happened. Exactly 7 days after I discovered his plan, I logged into our joint account, and the balance was zero. Every dollar, every investment, every property asset tied to that account was gone. My $500 million, gone overnight. I remember the way my throat went dry, the way my hands trembled as I refreshed the screen again and again. It felt like drowning while staring at calm water. When Richard came home that evening, I looked at him. He smiled a cruel, smug smile and said, "Rough day?" That's when I knew he knew. He'd cleaned me out and wanted to watch me break. But I didn't. I simply said, "Not really, just tired." He raised an eyebrow, expecting me to scream. But I didn't give him the satisfaction, because even though he thought I was finished, he didn't know about my insurance plan. See, years ago, Richard taught me everything about finance, offshore accounts, fund structures, asset trails. He thought he was educating a naive wife, but I learned quietly. And when I saw his divorce email, I'd already made my own move when he hadn't seen coming. 3 days before my $500 million disappeared, I'd mirrored every transfer he made. Every account he opened offshore I had access to. Adrian helped me clone his access keys and create a parallel holding under a different legal entity, one he didn't control. So when Richard drained the accounts, the system triggered an automatic shadow transfer, sending the same amount into my trust. My name was hidden behind layers of encryption and legal protection. So technically, yes, my $500 million was gone, but it wasn't gone from me. It was gone from him. I waited a week before revealing it. I wanted him to sweat. And oh, he did. Because soon after, the authorities began asking questions. Strange activity alerts, tax discrepancies, unverified international transfers. Richard panicked. He called me, pretending to be concerned, saying, "Honey, we need to talk about our finances. Something's wrong." I met him at our penthouse that night, calm as ever. He looked pale, nervous, not the powerful man he once was. "The accounts," he stammered. "They're all empty." I nodded. "Yes, I know," I said softly. "I checked this morning. He stared at me, confused, trying to read my expression. "Did you do something?" he asked. I smiled faintly and said, "Richard, you taught me everything I know about moving money. I just learned faster." His jaw dropped. "What did you do?" he whispered. "I took what was mine," I said, "before you could steal it." He tried to play it off, laugh it away, but within days, his empire began to crumble. The government froze his accounts for investigation. His board lost trust. Investors pulled out. And the best part? I had done nothing illegal. The money in my trust was legally documented. His wasn't. He filed for bankruptcy 6 months later. His new girlfriend left him the day after. The mansion he once bragged about was auctioned off to pay debts. And me? I was gone. I moved to Switzerland under a new name, with every cent safely tucked away. Sometimes I watch interviews of him online. Gray hair, empty eyes, talking about trust and betrayal. The irony makes me laugh. He thought I'd fall apart when he planned to divorce me. But all he did was push me to be stronger, smarter, and colder. So yeah, that's how my $500 million disappeared. It didn't vanish. It just switched sides. From his hands to mine. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's this. When someone thinks they're smarter than you, let them think it. Let them play their game. Because when it's your turn to move, they won't even realize they've already lost. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Because the next story? Let's just say, Richard wasn't the only one who tried to play me, and lost.